Hello everybody, it's Emily from Emily Loves London, and today I'm doing something a tiny bit different. So, I hope you like my hair, by the way. Just had it done. So nice. So what I'm doing today is basically, you probably know that I'm already, I'm a third year student at university doing history and politics, and around about this time everybody is kind of cramming in their last essays because term finishes around about the middle of December. And I thought I'd do this video because for those of you probably don't know this, but I'm dyslexic, quite a bit dyslexic and also a bit dyspraxic. So I have a dyslexic tutor that I go to every week at university, and for quite a while now she's been saying to me, the lovely Beth Sennett, if you're watching, she's been saying to me, do something about dyslexia on your blog or your vlog. We'd love to hear about it. So this is basically for you, Beth. So for those of you, this might work for you or it might not, but this video is basically my top tips to get through a essay that is rather long, because my essays range around 2,000 to 3,000 words. This is probably a bit more, it's not too, I've tried to make it really general, but it may have some more sort of politics and history slants, because that's my subjects that I do, but I'm hoping that I can give you a few tips that can help you, because I know it's really difficult for people like me who have dyslexia to kind of to get through that process and get writing, because you have a big mental block about putting things on pages. At least that's how I feel about it. So I've developed my own process to kind of get me through that in a way. So I start off the process mainly by just looking at my question, and in most cases I have a list of questions, and then the questions include what topic I'm doing, so it's quite easy in terms of looking at research to find all the books and stuff that I need. But I do spend quite a lot of time researching in my essays, because I think it's a really important part, and I think that's where you get a lot of your arguments and sort of your analysis from there, because you've done so much reading and because you're so knowledgeable about the topic. Your brain can kind of process it a bit better to start your analysis, which is always like a difficult thing for me, I find. So the way I do my research, I start off by just looking on my library, my university library site, and just search the topic randomly and get all the general books, and then I go on to JSTOR or Ubesco. For those of you who don't know, these are sites where most of the journals are, and your university will probably have a login, and then you can download them as you please. I say for most of my essays I tend to get a bare minimum of about 10 books and a bare minimum of about 10 journals, because I know you can use less, but honest to God, if you use more, you do get a better essay, because basically by picking up 10 books you can basically gather all the information and all the secondary information that has been written on this topic, and then you feel like you're sort of inside the topic, so you can just kind of blur it all out, and all the analysis starts to work in your brain much better. So basically, once I've got all my journal articles and my books, I then start reading, and I make notes by I literally go through reading it, and I put brackets around the most important parts, like a sentence in a page or 2 sentences in a page that are really just important information, it might be, or facts or statistics that I could use, or opinions or analysis from the person I'm reading. So I just put like a bracket around the sentence in pencil, and then I know that's what I need. And if something comes to my head in terms of analysis, I write it in the margin. But yes, so after I've done that with literally all the books and all the journal articles, I then go back and type them up. In the case of journal articles, I'm just copying and pasting because that's a lot easier. So that's done a lot more quickly. But yeah, I just put them into a Word document so I have them. And the big thing I must say, when I'm writing up all the quotes that I've looked through and found that are useful for my essay, and they may not be, sometimes you just have loads of quotes and you only use like one, but you know, it's good to have that range so you don't sort of think, oh, I don't think I have enough quotes, or I don't have enough stats that I've seen in this book and I haven't used. So yeah, it's always good to have more than less, honestly. But yeah, so I type them all up into a Word document, and the thing that I make sure I do at the top, which is always the most important thing because it's the painful, dreary thing of being a uni student, it's the referencing, guys. And if you're anything like me, I switch between 2 departments, so referencing is horrible and annoying because people have different ideas and of what referencing is, and it gets complicated. But the way I make sure that I've done all my referencing right is when I'm typing up those quotes, on the top is the reference of the book or the journal article. I type it out as in how it should be when I'm going to put it in my bibliography, because then I can just switch it for if I have to put a footnote in and I know it's there and it does, and then you don't have to spend like 2 hours, which is sometimes it takes, just kind of like typing the right bit and making sure the comma's there and the full stop's there. It's so annoying. Trust me, if you do it earlier, it's so much easier, and then you can just copy and paste into the bibliography, and that bit is quickly and easily done. So after I've typed all them up, I obviously print them out, and then I go back to the question and I do sort of a preliminary plan. You can either do this in bullet points, or I personally prefer spider diagrams. They're my favourite. They really help me think better. So I'd have the question in the middle, and then like on the outside I'd have all the different paragraphs I've got, so intro, conclusion, and then for example I did something on the Italian wars on Lorenzo de' Medici recently, so I'd have like his life, his domestic policy, his foreign policy, and they'd be the different paragraphs, and then on top of that I'd go further out and have like little sort of analysis points that I've picked up on my reading on the branches of each different paragraph, so then I know where I'm starting and where I'm going with this. And then what I do is make sure I've got my argument ready, because this is the most important thing. If you haven't got your argument, your solid argument to the question, you're really going to struggle, because you have to always link it back to the question in every paragraph, otherwise you are going to go down in marks. So then I focus on my argument and really make sure I've got something solid and topical, and that it gives a good perspective, and make sure you look at like the first bit of the question, which either says to what extent or discuss or stuff like that. So those sort of words you really have to look back on to make sure you've got the meaning of that right, because that links that, you're going to make sure that it makes sense in terms of that part of the question to your argument, if that makes sense. But yeah, so then after I've got my argument straight and all the paragraphs in the spider diagram done, I then number everything from the intro to all my paragraphs to the conclusion. I number them all, and then I go through all the quotes I've picked up. That's usually, by the time I've printed all of them out, it's a massive stack. But yeah, so I go through all of them and just basically read through them and see which ones work for which paragraph, or if they work for the conclusion or the introduction, you put I or C. And that basically means you're kind of thinking about how you want to design that paragraph, and that's really helpful for me. But it might not work for you, I don't know. But yeah, so then once I've numbered them, I gather them all up for each paragraph, and then I basically look over them and start to write. And that is basically my process of how to get to the writing stage of your essay, but having it done in a process where you can understand and go through it slowly, and basically make it so your brain can process it and not feel like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing, and just go straight onto the page. You don't have to do that, because I think for me this process works really well, because it means I can just think clearly about where I'm going with my essay in terms of my argument and the different paragraphs I want to put in. And I think that's for me it's a huge problem with my dyslexia, and I found creating this process so much more helpful, and I now get better marks, and I don't get flustered when I'm writing essays. Although, no, I do get still a bit flustered, but I tend to hand things in on time, because I'm not like going, right, just write it. Even after you've done research, it's those little bits in between where you do like the preliminary plan and then linking all your quotes to a different paragraph that just helps you think of how to write it. And I hope I've given you some really good tips on how to make it easier for you to write your essays, and it's not specifically geared to everyone. I mean, this may work for some people and it may not, but I'm hoping I've given you a few tips that can help you along in your essays, because I know this is a stressful time for everyone, even for me. I'm still writing 2 essays. So don't worry, if you think this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel and you liked this video, you can click the subscribe button below to see more of me. But I hope this has helped, and thank you, Beth, for pushing me to do this, and I hope that I've given a bit of hope to some dyslexic people who find essays really difficult. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a lovely day, and I will see you again soon for another video. Bye!